Hello guys and girls, Voices from the Dark here. Welcome back to the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge with Marina frickin' Mistfire, who's mourning the death of poor Muddy the Mud Crab. We shall send you off to sea once more. Go now, dear friends. Oh, he's floating. That's nice. Welcome back to the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge, where we are going along the coast of Anvil to the west. But why? What is our purpose here? What do we wish to do? Well, as it happens, there are a couple of Nirnroots along the shore here. The shoreline of Anvil. There's about 13 of them, 14, something like that. So we have a couple of Nirnroots that we would like to grab here along the coast while we're in the area. And I might as well just show you the map. Here you can see a map of all the Nirnroots in Cyrodiil. And if we take a look over here to the west, there's just Nirnroots all along the coast. So we got the one at the very top. So we just gotta go along and make sure that we also grab the rest of them. That's going to be what we need to do. We are currently at... How many Nirnroots do we have in inventory? 19 at the moment. Alrighty. Well then, let's get going. But if we're gonna be doing such a task, then we really ought to have some form of talking topic, something that we can discuss along the way. And well, from time to time, I've thought about things that I'd like to talk about, but in general, I'm so busy during episodes with other things that I don't really get around to talking about it. But this might be a suitable time. So let's talk. Something that I'd really like to talk about first is how amazing it's been to see the revival of Oblivion content on YouTube in 2017. So many new series are coming out, and big profile YouTubers have done series on Oblivion, which has just further increased the popularity of it. Some YouTubers who've started YouTube series have actually gotten quite big, like the Lafave brothers and Wilburger. I watch their series a lot. I find it really entertaining to watch Oblivion content from other creators as well. I love it. It's a lot of it comes from the meminess of Oblivion, of course, and that's okay. Doesn't matter why. It's just fun to see that Oblivion is still alive in people's conscience. Oh boy, mud crab. But I've also been a little worried that the series is not too easy for people to find, in that the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge is not really SEO optimized, and SEO stands for search engine optimization. So if you give a video the correct title, the correct tags, then the chances of it being discovered are greater. And the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge, first of all, if you look at any of the video titles of mine, it doesn't have Oblivion anywhere in the title. And that means that it won't really appear, and it doesn't have Let's Play in the title. So if you search for Let's Play Oblivion, this is not really going to be on the top of the results list. In fact, I believe my older series that I made in like 2012 with Sundrene is going to be above this on that list. Perhaps even Grofbog, I don't know. So I was a little disappointed to see that. I was just sitting on the YouTube app on my TV trying to search to see if it would actually appear, because if it doesn't really appear there, then I'm like, but how are new people going to find the challenge? You know, I just... That was bothering me a little bit, because I felt like I really wanted to share this adventure with even more people. So I was considering ways of renaming the challenge, but I don't want it to be more generic. I really like the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge because it's unique. It describes what it is. We're not going to shock the plants. Poor plants. And even though I've considered other names, I keep finding myself going back to the Champion of Cyrodiil challenge. I'm quite happy with it now. Another way that one could attract views is to use more eye-catching thumbnails, like most Let's Plays these days use. So instead of having an episode like the Mud Crab Murder episode or something like that, I could call it like, oh my god, biggest mud crab ever, with like a big mud crab in the thumbnail, and then like a little circle and an arrow and like a shocked face in the thumbnail. That would get more clicks. But I have a certain way that I like to He got knocked the F out. I have a certain way I like to do things. I have a certain way I like to do my thumbnails. I like them to be very clear and precise, a big number, and then something that represents what happens in the episode. In this case, the background of Marina. While not very visible, just gives you a little indication of what's about to happen in that episode. And I'm quite fond of it. Now this is the Lady Stone. It actually gives us the Lady's Warding Greater Power. And we'd like to stop by the different birthstones around, so stopping by this is going to be pretty nice, because this gives us fortified willpower and endurance, faster magical regeneration, plus more health. Not going to say no to that. Not in the slightest. And I'm just... even though the way we do things won't really get us the most views or the most attention, it's still our way, you know? It's still Marina's challenge. And I feel quite content with that. Also, I tried just searching for Oblivion Challenge, and we're actually at the top of that list. So, okay, I feel okay with that. So that was just a little thing that had crossed my mind at one point or another, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that. And it's been really fun to see the growth of some people like the Lefebvre brothers, because I first found them because of their... like most people found them through their Oblivion parody videos, where Emmett would imitate a guard or an NPC, and they would poke fun at the logic of Oblivion. And then after a while, they started up a Let's Play of it, and it didn't get a lot of attention or a lot of views, but I enjoyed it a lot. And then after a while, they just exploded, and their channel is now, I think, over 100K. So that's something. Some people sure do strike gold. So I'm really happy for them. Max has been really kind. I tried to support them earlier when they were just starting out with, you know, nice comments, and supported them on Patreon and stuff, and it seems you really resonated with that, so that was fun. So we talk from time to time. So that's cool. I love just seeing the community grow, especially around a game like this. Even though it's so old. You're ancient. You're ancient history, Marina. Bam! Get out of here, Muddy. Nobody likes you. You're a disgrace to the Mudcrab Order. You too. Bam! Something else that I thought I might talk about is more... it's YouTube related too. I just want to talk about all the good that I've gained from doing YouTube, and... main part of that comes from the social aspect of it, really. And not just the social interaction that I get from talking to Darklings, even though that's great in and of itself. The fact that you feel like there's always somebody who wants to talk to you, or wants to hear about your day, or whatever. Somebody who would be super excited to have you play a game with them, and that's just a really good feeling overall. But also in real life, especially during 2016, because 2016 was a pretty lonely year for me, because I wasn't in school at the time, and I was really missing some social interactions, and I pretty much just spent all day making videos, and I didn't really get a lot of social interactions that year, and it was getting so bad that I went to extreme lengths to even get that social interaction and talk with people. I actually signed up for an improv course just so I could be with others and try to have fun, and that's not something I would typically do. Sign up for an event like that and then go, and I have nobody I know there. I still have no idea how I actually dared to do that. It's a nightmare scenario for me, but still I was just like, no, I need this. I could use a little affection, a little support. But after a while, yoink. After a while, let me just have a quick look here. We've gone along the coast. Did we get all the Nirnroot already? Let's see. Nirn. 33 Nirnroots. Yes, I believe those were all of them. I think so. Well, we can head back to town then. I should probably get the taking care of Lex quest, because I'm the sort of person that would totally forget talking to the stranger before leaving Anvil, so let's go make sure we get him. So during 2016, I actually started getting some more contact with the Norwegian YouTube community. I was trying to make some more contacts there. And I've been to a few parties every now and then, a few get-togethers and such, and, you know, talked to a few YouTubers here and there. But I didn't really have any proper friends. But that was about to change, because eventually I got invited by somebody to go downtown and just record some videos, some Pokemon Go videos, in fact, back when that was all the rage in the summer of 2016. And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun, I can do that, I should try that. And then the day came where I was supposed to go out, and I was regretting my decision so much. I'm like, no, I don't want to go, it's gonna be awful, I can't do it, I'm really nervous. And I was super close to just ditching that whole deal, but it's like, no, I gotta give this a shot. I gotta try. And so I went down, and I recorded some videos, and I had a blast. I had so much fun, and I met so many new great people, not even all of them YouTubers. And after that, we went to this other event where I met more people, and I actually met a random Darkling dressed up as Aragorn. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then it just continued from there, and I just continued growing that bond. That bond was getting stronger, and eventually I was spending evenings at other YouTubers' house on like game nights where we play social deduction board games like Secret Hitler and One Night Ultimate Werewolf. So that one evening where I was like, I'm going to take this fare I have and just say, you know, screw you, go away. I want to try something, I want to be social. I made some friends, I got a social circle, and I got so much out of it. That's just something I would like to say. I have a couple of stories from those game nights, but we could save those for another day. Are you done yet?
You're bothering me.
I don't know how long it's been, but it should be enough.
Do you have my fee?
It's like 500 coins. What do you think I am? Penniless Olivus?
Here is the new list of candidates. Hieronymus Lex has a glowing recommendation.
Thank you. Grumpy. Okay, now we have forged list of candidates. Now we need to get the seal of approval, which is in the Imperial Prison District. Oh boy. So that's something we have to do. Before that, though, we want to stop by the Mages Guild, and it might be like, well, why are we stopping by the Mages Guild? And I'm going to tell you why we're stopping by the Mages Guilds. There is a certain aspect of Oblivion that I wouldn't say I've misunderstood it. I've understood how it's supposed to work, but that's not actually how it works. The Alembic. We've talked about alchemy apparatuses, and you probably know why I don't carry around an Alembic. I have the Retort and the Mortar of Pestle and Calcinator, because all of these improve the power and potency of potions and poisons. What the Alembic does is that it takes the negative effects of a positive potion and reduce those. But since I don't plan on making any of those potions with negative effects in them, since I only use one ingredient, I don't want to carry around something that weighs 7 for nothing. Turns out it has a side effect, and I don't think it's intended. But as it turns out, it actually increases the potency of your poisons. The Alembic makes poisons stronger. So if we'd had that from the start of the game, that would have been nice, but, well, you know, better late than never. Hello, felon.
Well met.
Well met indeed. I'd want to look at one of your Alembics.
I have potions and
Journeyman.
everything you need to make your own.
I can accept the Journeyman. Ba-da-ba-bow. Let's see. Okay, let's do a little comparison. I'm just gonna buy this now, and then I'm gonna just pick up a couple of ingredients, get some things so I can compare it. Dragon's Heart, way too heavy. Flax seeds and such. Do you have anything that can become damage health? Might buy an onion and a pear.
That for a song.
Just because in case I don't have anything that can become damage health. Any grand soul gems here that I would be interested in? No, nothing.
Come back and see me again.
I like you, Felon, even though you have a Jimmy Neutron haircut.
Be seeing you.
You're still great. If we were to now make... Okay, let's see the old effect first. So let's just drop this Alembic. You're trash. Get out of here. If we took the onion and then the pear. So have a look at the damage health effect. Never mind the restore fatigue. This is damage health 5 points for 19 seconds. So 5, 19, 5, 19. And then if we take the Alembic and we do the exact same thing. As you can see, this actually helps the effect and makes that less. So that's how it works. That's its intended effect. It makes that less. But if we had something that was just damage health, if we had an effect that was only damage health and nothing positive, I have to go and look through his stock again.
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Because it needs to be something that shares that damage effect but doesn't become anything actually good. Can't use stuff like the strawberry. Anything. Well, do you take my word for it? I'm sure you do. I would just really like to show it off in a proper way, but we'll just keep our eyes open for. So okay, something like troll fats. If we do troll fats, boing.
Take care.
And you remember the other one, 5, 19. So we take troll fats, combine that with something like a pear, 6, 23. From 5 points for 19 seconds to 6 points for 23 seconds. That's a considerable upgrade in damage. Okay? So I'm very, very pleased that I found out that the Alembic actually has more of a use there. Boom. So that's going to be the new power of our poisons. Very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun using some more powerful poisons. Well then, is that everything we wanted to do in Anvil? Is there anything else that we would like to do in the town before we go out? And what are we even going to do now that we're going out? Are we just going to head back to the Imperial City? Technically, yes. But I want to have a little fun at the same time. I want to combine the journey back to the Imperial City with a little adventure. Because we have actually had a lot of... what should I say? A lot of objective-focused gameplay lately. So I want to have some more freeform adventure. But before that, we're actually going to go and buy a horse. The Horse Whisperer Stables, where they only have the highest quality horses. These are the hardiest horses, which I believe that means that they have the most HP out of any of the horses. And they're the second fastest horses that you can actually buy. We're not going to use them, but I need to buy them and keep them in the stable to acquire the horse's own statistic. We already got 3 horses. It's going to be our 4th one.
Welcome to the Horse Whisperer. Are you interested in a horse?
Yes. How did you know?
We have the finest white horses in Cyrodiil. None are hardier, and only the black horses of Cheydinhal are faster.
4,000 gold for something I'm not gonna use? Sounds like a steal. As in, you're actually taking money from me. This is a robbery.
Wonderful! Go out front. Ernest will have the white saddled and ready for you.
Thanks. Let's see. Our beautiful horse. It's no point having a horse. We get around faster on foot. We have to go off the horse, which takes at least 2 seconds. Who has that much time? Look at this beauty. Well, goodbye. See you never. Such a good horse. Such a good horse. Well then, guys and girls. There is one thing that I forgot to grab during my Nirnroot hunt, and that is Fin Gleam.
Whoa.
I'm sure a lot of you know what Fin Gleam is, but for those of you who don't, at any point in the game, even just at the start of the game, you can go off the coast of Anvil, dive into the water, and on a skeleton, you can find what's known as Fin Gleam. It's a glass helmet that has some pretty nice bonuses on it. It's enchanted and it has water breathing, detect life 20 feet, and night eye. So, you know, all my favorite effects in one. Both night eye and detect life. Do you know what it's like to be in a conversation with people wearing that? It strains the eyes. But, you know, it does have its uses, definitely. And getting a glass helmet early on is going to be pretty good for some people. Oh, hey. I'm not underwater right now. Oh, there we go. I think she glitched out a little. Boom. Thank you. So if I remember correctly, it should be just off the coast here, because I used to go here at times starting a new game just to grab this, just so I could sell it, really. We just go down to the depths, go into first person mode, and let's just look around the bottom of the water here. There we go. Fin Gleam, everybody. Doink. Alright, let's get out of here. Ooh. Let's inspect this baby. Ba-ba-ba-ba! Look at that. Pretty swell effects, but... Okay, it's okay, Dark. It's okay, it's just Night Eye. It's just Night Eye. It's such a beautiful effect. I watched a playthrough of Oblivion once, and let's just say that the Fin Gleam usage was high. Very high. Very frequent. But I survived. And I hope you will too. Don't worry, we're not going to be using it too much. What we are going to do though, is that we're going to talk about what comes next on our journey. Because we want to go back to the Imperial City, deliver the Mage's Guild quest, make some new cool spells and enchantments that I have planned, put away some things, all of that good stuff before our next journey begins to Leowin, where there are some very, very exciting things for us to do. But where do we go? Originally I was like, okay, we'll just follow the road back, but we just took that road. Why do we want to go back the same roads? Why not go out on an adventure, on a quest, and discover a whole new part of the world that we haven't explored yet? I'm talking about County Kvatch. I'm talking about this area right here. It's totally empty. We've never been here. And there are some quests there that I would like to do as well. And some different cool things for us to find. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go on a quest to obtain the Nirnroot of the North. If you take a look at the Nirnroot map once more, and you look up in this area, right up here in the mountains, you can see that there's a Nirnroot in a pond right around this area here, and that's what we want to go for. We want to go try to find that Nirnroot and explore anything we find along the way. But on the way, we're also going to go and head up over here, near the edge of the river, because over there we can find a Lord Stone, another birth sign stone that I would like to check out. So that's going to be our current objective. We're just going to head out into the wilds. We just have a vague destination, and we're going to explore along the way. Do what we feel like doing, and have a grandiose time. And I also want to stop by plenty of Daedric shrines on our way back to the city. Because we have Meridia, who we actually have completed Meridia's objective. So I'm curious to see if, when we approach Meridia, if she's gonna be like, you must go to Howling Cave. But then she's like, oh, you've already done it. Well, good job. Here's a reward. Here's a Ring of Khajiit. So we'll see. If I have to do Howling Cave again, it's not the end of the world. But it was quite a long cave. But longer caves means bigger chance for loot. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's just leave that be. Let's leave that be for now, Dark. Don't need that. Speaking of skill books, though, I've done some interesting research, and I've actually found out some rather neat details about skill books, and they're a lot more structured than I thought. So if you want to know a couple of stats, a little of information, I don't know if this is as interesting for you as it is for me, but game trivia and theories around the game, I find it so fascinating. Okay, tangent time. So I was watching a couple of YouTube channels, and just videos that pose a question, that pose a challenge, that pose a seemingly impossible scenario, and then break down how that can be achieved. I find that so fascinating. I watched a video called Can You Beat Super Mario Odyssey Without Jumping? And you know, that sounds ridiculous. It's like, no, you can't beat Super Mario Odyssey without jumping. And then in the video, he proceeds to go through how it works. Okay, what constitutes a jump? If you use Cappy, is that a jump? And then at the end of the game, there's a statistic that counts your jumps. It was always this excitement whenever he got there that did he jump during the challenge? Did he complete it? You gave me some sort of real heavy weapon here, but I think I'm just gonna take that and fix that up a little bit and then give it back to ya. There we go, not gonna be rude. You can have it back. Didn't want it anyway. And I also watched another one about getting stuck in like the early Pokemon games, where you could potentially get messed up. Like, let's say that you were stuck with a level 5 Magikarp, there were no trainers to fight, you dropped all items and all your money was spent. You couldn't buy Pokeballs, you couldn't get anything new, and you can't defeat anything with a level 5 Magikarp. So what do? How do you get out of that conundrum? And I find that so fascinating, probably more fascinating than I should. It's like, it blows my mind, just going into games, looking really deep into the way they work and why their systems are the way they are. I think that's part of why I really, really love this challenge. This is a sign of Necromancers, huh? Necromancer dungeons are good though. So, back to what we were talking about. Back to skill books. Skill books have more rhyme and reason to them than I originally anticipated. So, in most dungeons, there's gonna be potentially like, I think it's between 0 and 3 boss chests. These are the chests that contain some pretty good loot or have a chance to get extra good loot. So whenever you open a boss chest, you have a 10% chance of finding a skill book. But the skill book you find is based on the dungeon you are in. So, bandit and vampire dungeons contain stealth books. Skill books that have some sort of skill that is related to the skill tree of, or the, what should you call it, the playstyle of stealth. While conjurer and necromancer dungeons contain magic books, and marauder dungeons, as well as undead dungeons, contain books that have combat. Knowing this, we can more successfully try to figure out where we want to go to get the skill books that we need. If we know that we're missing a combat book, then we just check out the appropriate dungeon to obtain that, you know? So that was just really fun when I learned how that works, because it makes it a bit more manageable, but at the same time, it's a little... If there's a 10% chance of finding a skill book in a boss chest, and we've cleared like 100 dungeons already, why have we only found 2? I don't feel like that statistic really goes up. I think we've just been pretty unlucky. So we gotta hope that it goes up from here, because we have about 8 or 9 random skill books that we have to find. One of them being the Lunar Lorcan, which you might remember as the skill book that we found in the Dream World with Henantier. And we were able to read it, so we have read it, but we were never able to collect it since it was a dream world and we had to go back and we lost everything that we had in the worlds. So I don't consider that a 100% must-have, but actually getting it and adding it to the collection would be good because it would help add to the sense of accomplishment. I definitely think that getting all skill books is going to be the most exciting goal to have completed. Not necessarily to complete, but once it's complete, I think that's going to be the one that I'm the most proud of, because so much of it is also up to random chance, and you have to make sure that you don't mess up anything by, let's say, ruining your chance to get certain skill books. Like, there are a couple of skill books that you can only get during the final Thieves Guild quest, which is quite a lengthy quest. And if you don't get it during that time, you're screwed. There's no other way to get the skill books. It's a bit like how we cannot get the final copy of the Lust Argonian Maid because that's now locked in Gwedden Farm after the Siren's Deception quest. Now, luckily, I don't consider getting all the Lust Argonian Maid's books a proper goal, because it's something that we decided on afterwards, and it doesn't really have a statistic of any sort, so that's not part of it. That's more just for fun, seeing how much dirty literature we can possibly get. So we're gonna grab this Varla Stone here. I'm gonna keep popping that Blessing of the Grey Fox. I've actually been thinking about making a better version of the Blessing of the Grey Fox, because 1 second is a little problematic. So if we made a spell that, let's say, lasted for 5 seconds, and then we just turned down the security requirement from like 100 to like 40 or whatever, then I think the cost is still super reasonable. So I think we might make a spell like that and call it something like... Well, the Blessing of the Grey Fox is a good name, but we can't reuse the same name for the spell, so maybe something like shadow hide you or something like that. If you have any idea for a name for that stealth spell, I'd be interested to hear what your suggestion is. For now though, it's time to defeat the final boss of this cave. So I think we're gonna pop Lady's Warding. Then we're gonna pop the Gates of Aetherius. We probably want to get the Spell Drinker Amulet on. And let's see if we can bring down this baby. Spell Drinker Amulet has been activated. Alright. Let's hope it does its thing. Ugh. Holy shit! I think it worked. Whoa. Okay, he's not dead. Okay, now he's dead. Never seen somebody get so much air and then not die. That was great. Staff of Storms? No. I'm gonna be a lot more picky about what I get. I'm gonna be a whole lot more picky about what kind of items I decide to pick up. Not gonna grab random gear, random armor. I don't need it. If it's something that's enchanted and cool, sure. If it's something I can pick up and repair, sure, I should focus more on armor. But I have to drop it again, because I don't need the money right now. If there ever comes a point I need money, I can start doing it again. I'm gonna get better there. I want to fight the hoarding. Oh boy, yes, okay, yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter that we got security. We did practice in the last one. Just had a heart attack there for a sec. I was hoping for some good loot here. 400 gold is good, don't get me wrong. Doesn't look like we can actually go further in, because I think the switch is on the other side there. I think we have to go around. But now we can actually sleep and level up to level 19, I do believe, which is not bad. Not bad. I'm down for that. I'm down for some level 19 shenanigans. I believe level 19 is a certain weapon scales up to level 19, so we'll get the best version of it. I think it's in Oblivion. Hatred's Heart and Hatred's Soul. I believe Hatred's Soul is a bow, and then Hatred's Heart is a mace of some sort. There are some weapons that are pretty good in Oblivion Random World 2, I think. And we can obtain them there. Yes, because as you can see, there's actually a part here that we didn't explore. That's probably going to take us to the other area. So I'd definitely be very, very interested to see if we can... Okay, we gotta go this way and then jump back down here. There we go. And then... Yes, just down in the chamber here. I'd be very interested to see if we can get our hands on some of them when we stop by World 2. Since we have to explore 100% and it's one of the realms we haven't been in yet, of course we do have to explore it and see what we can get. Now, I believe they might be Daedric, so they're going to be quite heavy, so I'm not sure if we're actually going to be using them, but we'll see their effect. There could be some use for them. Oh, you silenced me, you wraithy roo. Not good. I'm also just gonna fill up these other weapons here, because just seeing them on the list bothers me. Yes, I'm that picky about it. That I am. You should know this by now. You should definitely know this by now. Nice. I'll take it. I shall take it. There was something I wanted to bring up. But, you know, my mind, it's just a whirlwind of information and just trying to keep all of it intact. That can be quite a challenge sometimes. It definitely can. So I think I'll just have to let it go. Let that thought go. Never know what I'm gonna be planning. Oh, there's a nasty trap down there. A real nasty trap. So we can go down here. I wonder if there's anything here, if it's just for falling down purposes. So you can fall down but still get back up. That might be its intended usage. Traveler's Grace inside a dungeon. Because we don't follow the rules. So I talked about wanting to get better with hoarding. At the same time, I also thought that we should really try to... Oh, that's a whole lot of skeletons. Bam! Nice. I should try to pick up weapons and armor that have been broken, even just a little, and try to fix them up more. Whoa! Oh boy. That thing comes back eventually. Oh boy, oh, there it comes, there it comes, there it comes. And then it stops. Uh-oh! Spooky ghost that knows how to silence, so let's be a little careful here. Ah! There we go. Perfect. Somebody else? I think I hear a ghost. Oh, there we go. Spooky ghost in the corner. Ah! You captured a soul. Thank you. But I've thought of another great way for us to practice armor. Because in our list, I found something recently that I'd actually forgotten we had. It's called Corrode Armor. So, if we used... We've yet to really talk about the Truncheon of Submission. The Truncheon of Submission, I assumed that it would heal ourselves. Which is a pretty silly thing to assume, because every on-strike effect in the game refers to an effect that happens on an opponent. I actually see my life is draining a little now from that shade. That's a little spooky. That could have been the end of me. I've been a little lower. What was I talking about? Hey, here's the way to the other part. Every on-strike effect heals the target. This also means that the Truncheon of Submission is going to heal the target. And so you might be like, well, Dark, what's the point of a weapon that heals your opponent? How do you use that? The damage fatigue. You should know by now that losing all your fatigue can be catastrophic, because you get knocked down. It's a bit like paralysis. You just fall to the ground. You go totally limp and you just ragdoll on the floor. And you're just left there until your fatigue recovers. So if we weaken somebody... Now keep in mind, the healing doesn't matter if they're already at full health. You cannot overheal. So if we meet somebody, cast a few weakness spells on them and start smashing them with this Truncheon of Submission, they would fall down, lose all their fatigue and go into negative fatigue. And their fatigue regeneration would be so slow that they would be down for like 30 seconds, even possibly a minute if we weaken them enough. So we can totally incapacitate an opponent by using it, which is amazing. So when they're on the ground, we could use something like Corrode Armor if we meet a heavily armored bandit, and then we could proceed to break all their weapons. Are you here to practice with me? Alright, let's go over to a place where we don't really have grass so your gear doesn't get lost. Let's try this theory out and see if it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, doink. Then I'm gonna do a couple more slashes to really damage her fatigue. And now that she's down like this, and I still think those weakness effects are active, we can start disintegrating her armor. We're gonna undress her with magic. That's hot. So, disintegrate armor only affects one part at a time, as you can see. It's the part that begins to glow. And yeah, now her armor is slowly going to start to break, and you can steal the stuff of the people you knock down like this. That's amazing. So if we were to pop a Welkin Stone and we were to start casting out a couple more weakness spells like that, and then do Corrode Armor, Corrode Armor, Corrode Armor, then do one more weakness just to keep it alive, and then Corrode Armor. I wonder how her armor is going to be at the end of this. Now, I should probably put her out of her misery, don't you think? I feel like it's only fair. This has just been a little experiment to see what we can do. Totally disintegrated. We probably went insanely overkill. It doesn't affect the weapon. We probably went really overkill on that, but I don't even care. So that's a potential way to train armorer. But another way that I've thought about is, what if we just do this on ourselves? What if we go home, get the Legion armor gear that we have laying around, we equip it, and we start casting out that spell on ourselves. We make a disintegrate armor on self spell, and then we just toss that out. We would destroy an entire armor set. Imagine the armor experience. So while I was considering picking up and repairing the gear of the people that we come across, the bandits that we fight, I think I'm going to try to restrain myself from doing that and instead focus on... I want to find the camp that she was at. And instead focus on simply getting the loot that's worth it, and we can train armor in the comfort of our own home. I think that's how we are going to do it, because that's also going to speed up the pace at which we clear dungeons. Wow, it's been quite the episode, everybody. I've had so much fun just rambling and talking, but the Lordstone is within reach. So all we have to do now is rest until evening comes. And ascend to level 19. You're really good. Maybe the best. And that's why it's so hard to get better. But you just keep trying, because that's the way you are. Boom. +5s. Always nice to see. Well then. The journey for the Lordstone is about complete. And then we can continue on the road. You can see it in the distance there. Then we can continue on the road to find the Nirnroot of the North. But of course, that is going to be an objective for another day. Have a still good day, take care and stay awesome. But most importantly, everybody, stay dark. Goodbye.